And this is something that the red pill won't tell you, is that sure, I understand that you're patching up another woman's problems, you're making up for her mistakes, but ultimately the kids suffer. I was one of those kids who was a mistake of their mother's decisions. And my brother's father came in and he was a light in my life. At the time, I didn't really realize it. I liked him. I did not mind hanging out with him. But once I got older, I realized how impactful he was. He taught me a lot about life, about having rules and morals and guidelines for yourself, like having a standard. These are things you will and won't do. It kind of just became me, and I wasn't aware that these were rules I was following. But now I totally realize, as raising up these stepkids, I'm totally a byproduct of my stepfather and my mother. And even though they were not together, both of their influence was really just about us. That's all they were doing. My stepfather and mother were not together, but they were really focused on me and my brother. My mother tells me now something I didn't even realize, that I remember my brother's father when I was about 7 to 10. That's like when our core of hanging out. And actually, he was around when I was 4 to 6. Him and my mother stopped talking for about a year or two, and then he came back together. And I guess that's when I remember him, and I thought he was just like fresh. That was the first appearance. Having someone else to judge me or ridicule me, say, if I'm willing to do bad as a child, I can kind of get over what my mother says. And not even just that it's my mother, but it's just one voice. But now that you got two people and both of these people really care, like, I don't want to hurt two people's feelings. I can take one, but I can't take both. And I think I'm starting to see the power of that now. I believe because I guess I get a little more aggressive and I have a shorter fuse, that the kids respond to me pretty well. But also I think it's a matter of caring. I can say something and be disappointed, and maybe I'll say it like I should have been saying it to a grown-up instead of a child. But right after that, they will come and ask me for like anything. Can you get me something to drink? Can you get me something to eat? So I understand that might be kind of rough on them, but it does show me that they realize that's just the moment. Whatever that was just it. And he doesn't hate me. It's not the end of the world. He's just mad at that particular instance. And I'm very proud of them for being able to rationalize that. The red pill will never tell you the impact that you make on the children. I think Chris Rock said it best. Was it the Bring the Pain special? When he said a girl was out at the club on just a regular ass Tuesday or Wednesday night. And he was like, go home, take care of your kids before they rob me in 10 years. And that's about the truth. All these kids that you don't want to take care of another man's baby, these are going to be the criminals in 10 years. You could stop that. Impact one life, and you will be amazed what that one life can do. What if you are raising the next Elon Musk? What if you are raising the next Will Smith, Jaden Smith? If you are raising somebody who will make a social impact, a medical impact, an environmental impact, an impact just in his neighborhood, an impact in his house, being a good role model for people to see. You don't know how that impacts things. Mentors, not just being a stepdad, but mentors. I think about this one teacher I had in high school, Mr. Gannon. I hope he's still alive and bless his soul. He was a short Irish man. He was young. He was probably about like 5'6", 5'8" though. And because he was a rookie teacher, they gave him the worst students. Unfortunately, I was one of those worst students, but it was so bad that when we all looked at around us at the class, we were like, oh my God, this teacher is not going to make it. Like, we all started feeling sorry for whoever was about to be the teacher for whatever we might do somehow, somewhere throughout the year. But he captivated us, and we didn't even have our history books. at least in particular for me, the first semester of African American history, I had a black teacher, Mrs. McCarthy, I believe her name was. Black History B, I had Mr. Gannon. So actually, Mrs. McCarthy was the head of the Black Caucus on top of that. So she was really about to teach us some pro-black stuff in the civil rights. All she did was put things on the overhead projector. That's how old things were. Before computers could be displayed somewhere on a monitor, they had to put a translucent piece of paper with words on it, and a projector had to project it onto a screen. So that's all we did was copy notes. It was names, it was inventions, but we didn't even get pictures with it to even what the fuck is a cotton gin? Like, at least if you show me, I can kind of understand. Like, my family's from North Carolina. I know a little bit of farm machinery. So it's throwing me off kind of not knowing what machine it is. Have I seen it before? Have I not seen it before? But she was the worst teacher, to the point that the kids who were on the honor roll dropped out the class because they were failing. They couldn't get it. So they were like, they can't take this on their overall GPA. So they dropped her class. But so Mr. Gannon rolls around next semester, and I guess because of the grades of what I did last semester, they really didn't give a crap about me. Threw me in the class with all the bad kids. Mr. Gannon walks in and he captivates us. I mean, we don't have a book. He's just right. He barely wrote things on the board. Just the terms that we had to remember for tests, he would like write on boards. I can remember like scallywag and carpetbagger. He was teaching us Civil War rebuilding. He was teaching us the way he would relate the things to us, the terms to make it become livable and breathable. Like, he was like, y'all remember when the Redskins went to the Super Bowl on the strike year? They were the Scabs. Yeah, you saw how the people felt about them. That's what these people were in the South. And like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now you're breathing life into this time. It's not just there was white people, there was slaves, it was bad. Okay, now you're breathing why there was slaves, why the Civil War was really happening, the climate of what was going on, what the mindset of the people were, and really why it became the North versus the South. Needless to say, everybody gets outstanding grades in his class without a book. And I remember this. Okay, I'm not going to say the name just to spare this student, but he was in tears. Like, he was holding it back. He was really, but like, you could see it kind of in his face. It was almost like he watched his mom die and like was trying to hold it in and be tough for us. But he was like, looking at the paper, I never got an A before. He couldn't believe it. I guess we were like 16 years old at the time. That was the first A he ever got. And he probably didn't even think he was capable of that kind of work. He just had chalked himself up as a dummy. And when he saw that paper, like that changed his life. That literally changed his life. I'm not saying he became a model student or even really improved his grades to the point where he was like on the honor roll, but he had a thirst for knowledge after that. Once he saw he could learn, he wanted to learn. And that's something that you could be as a stepfather. It's not just about you and the woman. It's about the future of what that child thinks about relationships, what he thinks about men and women, what he's supposed to do when he's with a woman, how you deal with stress, how you deal with pressure, the things you're supposed to do. You have to live it and breathe it. And no matter what it is, I'm not telling you live a fake life. Whatever it is, just stick by it. That's what the kids notice. The consistency. You're not going to like this. Oh, he's going to be mad at that. I better do this. They're listening. With great power comes great responsibility. You have to be there for them. They want to know they're being heard. They want to know they're being cared for. You care for them and they will care for you. And that transcends anything. Thank you.